All right. Welcome to another edition of Boundaries and Brotherhood with Gordon Wat. And I got special co-host guests of the Stop Doing It All book, Sarah Pitts from Over the Pond.
Hey, I'm Sarah Pitts. I'm an international best-selling author. I have just launched my book, Stop Doing It All. I like to help solo business owners who feel overwhelmed with everything that they've got going on. When you feel like you're just drowning in tasks to do, busyness, rather than being able to think clearly and being able to focus on your business, that's what I help people do. I help them get unstuck, really. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what we're going to be talking about today. You said something about value.
Guys, today we're going to go over the words how in the industry value is being thrown around. I read in, and I'm in chapter 8 of Sarah's book. And one of the things that stood out to me, like how everybody in the industry just says, give the most value, give the most. And it's to me, value is a perceived perception, idea, belief, because my value is different from Sarah's. You watching is different from what you might have in the value. But Sarah, explain to the people in the book that how your term changed everything a lot because it was so simple and so compelling that I just had to bring this up.
Value to me, I was always taught if you want to grow your business, you need to go into other people's Facebook groups, you need to add value. It's always thrown around, isn't it? This add value
Right.
idea. I don't feel comfortable going in somebody else's Facebook group and teaching other people stuff because I haven't been asked to do that. Most people don't even like it when you do that unsolicited. But what I realized was that value has nothing to do with teaching people. It's all
True.
about helping them. And I don't know about you, but as a solo business owner, I am surrounded by people who really support me, they really love me, they want me to succeed, but they have no idea what it is that I'm doing. That was great. Thanks for sharing that. Well done. That was really insightful. Just a bit of support, just that word of encouragement, the
That's what it
value
is.
that you add to somebody that day. You have to be teaching people.
So interesting because a lot of times, like everybody says from the gurus, from everybody else that had some things before, like you said, that was a strategy 5, 6, 7 years ago. But
Mhm.
what Sarah hit on there was you want to encourage, you want to inspire, you want to help instead of giving value. Somebody's value might be, man, I needed to hear this today. Oh,
Mhm.
sure, I needed to now, and it can lead to other things in business because a lot of the times people just want that little bit of encouragement. And that's what made me so relevant to a lot of people's pages because I was encouraged because I wanted to see the best coming out of them. And
Exactly.
especially when sometimes, like even in your book, it's just you might have a different angle that you
Mhm.
see from your experiences that I didn't see. This is why
Yeah.
me and Sarah work so well because we might strategize, we might think about angles. I respect Sarah's opinion, she respects mine because we come from different things, and that's where the word value is. How can I help you today get into from this position? Give me a give me a short story of one that you realize that value and help is almost the same, but not the same.
I think value to me, adding value, the idea of adding value always gave me a feeling of pressure. Like
Oh,
I had to perform in some kind of way. Actually, most of the time, people appreciate it when they can connect with you, when they can see where you're coming from. You can make them feel like you understand how they feel. You're not telling them what to do, you're sharing your experience with them. And when you share stuff and support them, there's no hate behind it, there's no expectation behind it, just building people up all the time. Because you don't know what's gone on in their life, you don't know what they've been through, and they are the only expert in their own lives. So when I try and help people, I say to people, in my experience, and then I share the story of what happened to me or how I've helped a client through it or what I've seen in the industry or whatever it is that I feel is helpful to that person. Because just because I think it's helpful doesn't mean to say they will. So you have to go in a respectful manner to
right.
say, look, this is what I've experienced. I don't know if it's the same for you. I hope that's helpful. I like to put on the end of those kind of comments, just my 2p, because it is just my opinion. And
True.
if it's helpful, great. And if it isn't, then that's fine too. But it comes across in a way that's very respectful to them. It's
Mm,
it's non confrontational, I think is the word. Yeah.
Right. Because, like you said before, people just want to know how you make them feel. You don't want to be confrontational, whether it's you telling them to do this, to push this. It doesn't make a difference because at the end of it all, they want to know if you can help them emotionally. And the business part is part of just doing business. A lot of the times, when you said the feeling of pressure, sometimes I'm the opposite because I'm like, even though I might say things in a nice way, right? The pressure is what people put on themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that story about you wrote in the book about how you helped Miss Anna Banks.
Yeah. So I think the incident that you're talking about is when she was about to go to a conference. I can't remember if it was IMC or something like that, but she was going to a conference and she was going with the idea of networking with people. And her and I and you were all part of Jim Edwards' community. Shout out to Jim for all his help with everything that we know, all of us. He was trying to support her in, oh, you need to have this ready and you need to be prepared in a way so that if somebody says, how do I get in contact with you? You can just
Give it
send
out.
them to a funnel or you can send them
Yeah.
to whatever. And she didn't have any of that stuff ready digitally. People could find her. She had oodles of stuff on paper. She had loads of stuff ready in her head, but she didn't have anywhere where people could go to contact her or read more about what she was doing or anything because it was quite a new thing. So I could see in when she was talking to Jim and she was just nodding along with everything that he was saying and he was getting more and more excited and you could just see her body language just, oh my God, that's so much work. I've only got 2 days. I fly out.
Oh, okay.
I asked her if she would want to talk it through with me because we've known each other a long time and we talk quite often. And I just said, look, I can see you stressing out about this thing. Let's just figure it out. So he gave her the recognition that there was something that she needed to do, but she didn't realize the reality of what she could do. So this is what I call in the book the 4 R's of potent productivity, right? There's recognition, then there's the reality of what is the reality of the situation, not what do you think is the reality of the situation, what actually is the reality of the situation. Then there's a roadmap, then there's the reassurance. So Jim had given her the recognition that there was a problem, right? But he hadn't given her like something that she could do quickly to get it sorted out. So she didn't know the reality of the situation. So while I was talking to her, we basically were discussing different options that she had available to her that weren't digital. So I was like, okay, so if funnel building in 24 hours is not valid, right? That's not viable. It's not going to help. She was like, yes.
Check that off. Boom.
Yeah,
Check that off.
let's
Get
just
that out of
forget.
the way.
So, how can we put this into practice without that? And she was like, oh, I've got this and I've got this and I've got this document and blah, blah. And I went, whoa, hang on a minute. You've got the document? She was
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, I've got it all
Yeah.
outlined of what it is and what the product is. And I was like, oh my God, just print that out and take it with you.
That's it.
Yeah. She was
That's
like,
it.
oh, yeah, I can do that. She already had a lot of the stuff already in a format that she could take with her. The roadmap was print the documents, take them with you. And if you run out, just ask people for their email address and tell them you'll send it to them. She was
It's
just
like
like,
anything else in a networking event. It's especially now how fast the AI things move. You can solve these problems really fast this way. It doesn't have
oh,
to all be digital because you don't want all that stuff. There's so much tools right now. If you was to come to me with a problem, I'll tell you, boop, 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 and print it out and take it. Use a scan code, put it in your phone here. You'll be like, what the hell? Because it just happened to me the other day. With the use of AI, genies, LLMs, chat GPTs, all these other tools, there's nothing you cannot get done that was so relevant to that situation. Because what was there 4 R's that you said, Sarah? Relevancy, roadmap,
recognize,
recognize,
recognize reality, roadmap,
roadmap,
and reassurance.
and what?
Reassurance.
Reassurance.
Yeah.
Guys, she just gave you a roadmap for the 4 R's of continuity in business if you have a problem, right?
Oh, yeah. This is
Did you?
people, they spend so
Yes.
much time stressing about what ifs. If there's a problem, what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it in this next moment? If there's nothing you can do about it in this next moment and nobody's going to fall off the planet and nobody's going to get hurt, then really there is no problem. But I think people, we just try and put too much into the situation, and oftentimes taking things away from the situation is the way to move forward. Simplifying it. It's like
Yep.
we've been doing business for hundreds of thousands of years, maybe not that many.
Well,
Human
we've
beings
been
have been doing this
bartering.
exactly, and we've been dealing with people a long time, and we've just been using different tools to do it.
Yep.
Now, there's so many tools out there, it's easy to get overwhelmed and think, oh, I can't get all that done, so therefore I'm not going to. And
Oh,
actually, there's
talk
loads
about
of
that.
ways of doing whatever it is that you want to do that's just not using the current tools. It's using tools that have got us as far as we have. Pen and paper has been around for a lot of years, thousands of years, and I still use it now. I have a pencil here that I jot notes down because my memory is like a sieve. And if I don't write it down, I totally forget. Relying on
Honestly,
technology for me is not necessarily a great thing. This here is my
hey,
memory.
nothing goes wrong with something like this. This
Exactly.
works for all these years. In fact, I have over $10,000 in digital whiteboards. I still write on paper. My desk is a whiteboard itself. I want to
Yeah.
get like a remarkable tablet because once you write on that, you can save it to somewhere.
Yeah.
The remarkable system.
Okay.
Miss Sarah Pitts is a go high level funnel expert, right? She has a certification, she has
Yes.
everything else, right? She has all of that. She did all these things. Then she want to talk about technology. Like, that's technology. So it's like, I'm not a funny. I've been with Russell them. I've been backstage with them. I've been somebody's secret with back then. Funnels, design, hacking, all that stuff. I went through all that. It's not for me. It's not
No.
for me. What I do is I solve people's problems fast because of the way and give creative ideas, right? So if you need to match Sarah's services, funnel building, strategy, blueprints, frameworks, this is what this book is the predicate for. But first, she deals with the angle, we both deal with the angle of having the overwhelm and the pressure to fall off because she has answers. I have answers. How does the pressure, when you take off that pressure, how does your mind expand?
Watching that for clients is just
I,
the best feeling in the
exactly.
world because they have all this clutter, all this nonsense, all this noise in their heads.
Yes.
They can't think straight. It's just so much stuff going around in their brains all the time. And when they can trust somebody to just do what they say they're going to do, and they deliver it on time and it looks great, they have been part of the process all the way. I was working with a lady for a few months now, and when I first started working with her, she was just like, oh, this is, it's like a millstone around their neck. It's like
Oh,
all this heavy
wait.
weight on their
Yeah.
shoulders, and then you can just see it in the way that they speak, and they're all the time. And now she's coming up with all these really creative ideas for a business, and she's
I
really
would.
excited
Yep.
about it all. And I'm
Yep.
just like, all it took was one conversation so that she could get a handle on what she was trying to achieve, simplify, take away all of that noise, create that roadmap so that she knew what was happening, get somebody else to do the jobs you don't like, and then just it's like a weightlifting. I've seen the same with taking away people's physical pain when I was doing injury treatment. You know, these people have been suffering for decades with this pain. And when you take it away, it's I call it getting their bounce back. You can see it in their
You
body language.
literally can see it.
They
Yeah.
get that effervescence, that fun almost back into their being.
Well, because anything to do with pain, it's like with business, right? You don't want to. It's like, I gotta learn how to do this. Then I gotta
Yeah.
find out this. Then in your book, you stop doing it all, guys. Get the book, guys. Stopdoingitall.com with bonuses.
Oh yeah.
You might have bonuses with me showing you what strategies I'm using to get people thousands of views. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's you literally see people get relieved.
Oh
It's like you
yeah.
press the button and it's like, oh, I can do this because
Yeah.
there's so many ways to do it. But like you said, if you're stuck on one subject, that just is a vacuum for all that energy. It's the same like me when I quit my job. I got my mojo back
Mhm.
from just not being, my job served its purpose and I had my season in life. It got me to where I needed to be. I was fortunate, but now I got to be who I really am, helping people, supporting people, inspiring people, creating things, giving answers, solidifying deals, making things happen. Because people, you would be surprised at the people that come, Gordon, what do you think about this? I say, I'll just do this and that. They'd be like, you just do this, use this plan, do this, put this in there and this, and then put this inside there. And they'd be like, what the frick? And I'm like,
Yes.
because like we said, common sense is
Yeah.
not common sense to everybody. In your book, you talked about something else that kind of get, when people get overwhelmed,
Mhm.
right? We're going to be sticking about the overwhelm factor of this because what was the ratio, the formula that you used to delegate other things? You created a formula
Oh, yeah.
in your book.
Yeah.
Explain that to the viewers.
Yeah. So I call it the 4 L's of successful delegation. And it is love, learn, leverage, or let go, right?
Nice.
So you want to be, as a solo business owner, you want to be focused on the things you love doing, right? They are the things that other people just simply cannot do. Like this interview, right? Nobody else could do this interview because it's me,
You.
my opinion, it's
Yeah.
you, it's your opinion, and we're having a conversation. So to delegate that to somebody else would not be the same because people want to hear the author, they want to hear the founder, they want to hear my voice talking about my ideas. So I can't delegate that, right? So that's something I love doing. So I need to keep that.
Okay.
We've both been learning from Jim Edwards. We can take his teachings. We can learn a little bit about it. We can do that for ourselves for a little while. If it's going to benefit you in the long run to learn that skill, go ahead, learn it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not going to benefit you long term to learn it, then learn the strategy, but leverage somebody else's skills to get it done, right? So
Correct.
currently, I am leveraging your skills to boost my YouTube channel. We're working together in that way
Yeah.
because social media is not something I enjoy doing. No, other people love it. I don't. I
Yeah.
would quite happily let it the responsibility. I'm not letting go of the task. I'm letting go of the responsibility of that task. So
Mm-hmm.
let go isn't just forget about it and just ignore it.
Yeah.
Just get somebody else to do it so that you don't have to worry about it. And loads of people hate social media, especially when you have to be doing it. It's like a full-time job. And I'd
It
rather be doing
is.
other things. So if I can let that go and get somebody else to do that, great.
Perfect. Okay. You talked about the love that you do, right? You talked about the leverage. Explain the other two in more depth and examples.
Yeah. So learning might be something that's going to benefit you in the long run. In terms of business, then it might be something more about business that you don't understand. So it might be how to manage your finances, it might be tracking data, it might be whatever it is that will further your career. So further your ability to do your job, not just every task that needs doing. Because what we tend to do when we first start out as solo business owners is we get really good at learning.
Yeah.
And so we just pile on more and more tasks to learn. So when we're, as human beings, we have things that we're consciously learning how to do. And then when we know how to do them, they become subconscious. And that
Right.
consciousness gets replaced with something else that we're learning how to do. So eventually we just learn all of this stuff. And that's where busyness comes from, because the tasks that we're learning to do, they're not moving the business forward. They're just piling more responsibilities on your shoulders. So there does come a point where it's helpful to you to learn enough about a subject to be able to leverage somebody else, to be able to get somebody else to help you. But it doesn't mean that you have to learn it in order to do it. Yeah, if
Right.
you get somebody else to write some copy, for example, so let's say
Right.
you get somebody else to write some emails for you, you maybe get them to create a sales page for you, whatever, you need to know enough about that subject to tell whether what they've done is good or not.
Correct.
Because otherwise you'll be paying through the nose. So sometimes that can be really helpful. But let go is really about the jobs that you makes you want to stick needles in your eyes, you know? Those jobs that you really hate, like tracking data and
Picking
social
needles in the
media
eye.
and all that crap, basically, that we have to do these days in order to run a successful business. But the thing is, you don't have to do it. Scheduling a post, finding hashtags, creating graphics is not something you need to be doing.
Yeah,
Spreadsheets,
yeah,
unless you enjoy doing
yeah,
it, is something that you really don't need to be doing.
yeah,
You
yeah,
need
yeah.
to know what that data means to you as a business owner. You need to know what to do about what the data tells you. You don't need to be finding the data and writing it all down and filling in spreadsheets every day.
Business, do you agree? Yes or no? Is it all about people or is it all about solving the problem?
And I can't give you a yes or no answer because business is about solving people's problems.
Correct. But then you have to understand this is we're all in the people business,
Yeah.
regardless of how look at no matter if you're using social media, you're using expensive copy, you're using somebody to leverage. At the end of the day, if you're using somebody to write your copy and they don't know your audience, your avatar, your backstory, and everything else, this is why I like working with the people that's been around our circle. We've been through the trainings, we've
Yeah.
been through everything. And it's so redundant. That's why I stepped away. And I told myself, okay, and now it's time to apply the stuff that I've learned, that I know I can do from my experiences to leverage into things that can be done for other people and myself. Because
Yeah.
the more I help, the more I gain. The more
I know the
value I provide to somebody,
yeah,
right? It makes
exactly.
me pour more into other people.
Exactly. And that's what the whole point is really. When you're stressed and you're overwhelmed, you're focusing on you. You're
Yes.
focusing on the next thing that you need to be doing. And it stops you focusing on the people that you really care about helping.
Yeah.
Because I don't work with people who are just interested in money.
Correct.
Because I don't get on with those kind of people because I'm not that kind of person. I get on well and I work with people who care about helping other people,
Yes.
you
Number
know?
one, that's the
Ex-
number one. I have been that guy. I've been that
okay.
guy in the legal world, the illegal world, the criminal world, all these things. I've been down that road.
Mhm.
In fact, I just had my 57th birthday the other day. And when
Mhm.
you look, like I said, in my post, I already had the power, the money, the fame, respect. Now I want my two kids, my wife, and my dirty house because I have the purpose,
Exactly.
right? I
Yeah.
just did an interview with one of my good friends that we started this. He still want to be a seven-figure earner.
Okay.
That's okay
Mhm.
with him. I said, that's okay with Jesse. I'm okay doing what I'm doing right now because he wants me to do sales for him,
Okay.
right? He wants me
Mhm.
to do close high ticket. I'm like, nah, I'm good. He knows I have the potential because I used to be that guy before. He does. I said, I'm not that guy anymore. I want to
Mhm.
just enjoy my life. I want to help other people. Do I like to
Yeah.
get compensated fairly?
Oh,
Sure. That's of
yeah.
course, but that's this. But helping people and not burning bridges is where my integrity lies, where my boundaries are at, right? Let me
Yeah.
ask you this now, Sarah, okay? In your
Uh-huh.
book, explain the productivity method. Explain it in a nutshell why it's so important when you're in overwhelm mode in your business.
So the potent productivity method has got three sections to it, right? So we have clarity, we have balance, we have direction, right? I worked with hundreds of them one to one, helping them to streamline what they're doing, simplify their problems, and just move on from the issues that they're having. So most of the issues are related to the lack of clarity they have in what they're doing.
Oh,
A lot of that is down to the foundational pieces of their business. So the six foundational pieces that I talk about in the clarity section of the potent productivity method. You will find those in the book. I'm not going to go into those in great detail now, but if you don't have your foundation straight, it's like building a house on sand, like that. That's you've got to build your house on a rock. But for me, it's not just any rock. It's got to be the perfect rock for you. So I've tried building a business on somebody else's perfect rock. It didn't suit
ooh,
me and I hated it, right? Because at the time I was treating triathletes for their sports injuries. So it made sense logically to go after triathletes and help them and build business around that. But I could not stand talking about which pedals were best and what times they'd done on the latest race and all that kind of stuff. So the problems that I had in my business were all stemming from the fact that I was in the wrong place. When you have your foundation straight, you have confidence in who you are, your relevance to the situation, your relevance to the audience. You know what's unique about you. You know what your ecosystem of your business is looking like. You've got somewhere to send people that's projecting a message that you want to project that's easy to find. And because the numbers are telling you whether you're being effective or not, right? So those things have to be in place in order for you to have the confidence. Then
Correct.
you can worry about, am I meeting my goals? Am I spending my time across all the areas of my business equally? Am I looking after my customers? Am I helping people? Am I talking to people and spreading the word about who I am and what I'm doing? And am I delivering what I say I will? So that's
Yes.
balance across
Yeah.
the business, right? So because we're creatures of habit, we do tend to fall into the same old habits. And if we're worrying about money, then our customer care will drop off because we're focused on what we're doing and
Yeah.
the tasks that we're trying to do. And we maybe will just do the bare minimum of something to deliver on our promise rather than giving everything that we want to be able to give in that area. See what I mean? And so that's where the balance comes in from, really. And the direction is what happens when things go wrong. So we spoke earlier about the 4 hours of potent productivity,
Right.
and that is your I'm really stuck. I don't know what to do. That's how you get out of that situation without spending months or weeks wallowing in your self-pity that something went wrong. Because we all feel like that, and it's all disappointing and it can be more overwhelming. But when you have got a plan of how to move forwards from there, it's building your house on the right rock that's going to weather any storm. That's
True.
really what the potent
Very
productivity.
true. Yeah. I really get what you're saying with that because, guys, if you're feeling overwhelmed in your business, if you're looking for a situation where you need to have these productivity methods, the potent productivity methods, and you want to take an assessment, she does have an assessment that you can take to see where she can plug in her information. Because let's see, we might not be the Alex Hermosis of business, we might not be the Russell Brunsons of the business, but there's people like us that help the front man people get to where they need to be. Because of NDAs, we can't do these type of. But now you want to know where you stand. The assessment she's got is will take you in a direction where you can build this foundation not on sand, not on. You want to be the lighthouse for your customers, where you can be the beacon of light for a lot of different things. Because she explains that with the potent productivity method, and the assessment is free because let's face it, if you're overwhelmed in your business, something's not working right. You mean
Yeah.
it's draining you somehow. And if you just keep, if your feelings, your emotions are like a bucket with just hose plugging it, you plug one hole and you squish it down, something's gonna pop out somewhere. Next thing you know, you're gonna give up. We don't want you. You might have the best product, service, answer for somebody, but you just need a little nudge in the right direction, a little bit of help. We're gonna
Yeah.
cross that word value out, a little bit of help in the right direction, using Sarah's method, blueprints, and trademarks with her service. Now, I'm not saying it might work for you, but at least give it a try, right?
Yeah. And I think the thing about the assessment is it tells you whereabouts you're spending your time. So because these things are often like we're not conscious of the fact that we're doing them, we're not aware of it. Sometimes just the reality of the situation can help you to go, oh, I didn't know I was missing out on this bit, or I didn't know that
Yeah,
one I wasn't working hard enough there, or wasn't paying any attention to that bit. And the idea of facing a reality like that can be a bit scary if you take it
very.
personally. If you know that reality is there to help you move forwards, it's a totally non-emotional way of going, okay, have I fallen into some habits that are not serving me yet?
Explain that.
It's
Good.
that whole balance idea. It's spending the time where we feel most comfortable. And sometimes when we're so overwhelmed and we're playing whack-a-mole with all the things that we've got to do that day, we're jumping from one fire to the next. Sometimes we don't know that we've spent months just doing that.
or nothing.
Yeah, writing it down is one of the best things you can do. I used to say this all the time to my patients. Write down how you feel, what your symptoms are every single day. You only need to do it for a week because by the end of the week, when you've written the same thing 5 times, you're
Right.
more aware of it than you were
It,
accepting that, oh, it happened that day.
that's so amazing because when you look at the things you do for business, it's so safe to say that the things I talk about, the mental health awareness, we say the exact same things. Journal, write down what your business is. No, have an understanding where it's at, where you're spending your time, what you can do to change about it. Because that's the best advice Sarah is gonna give on so much things. If you write it down, you know the direction you're gonna. You start breaking it down, you put it in a mind map, you figure out where it's going, then you start tweaking it to build that foundation, to find that balance, to find that thing where, and you're going to find out somewhere it's lopsided. It
Oh,
always
yeah.
is.
Yeah, it always is. And it's really hard. It is really hard to have that balance. And I struggle with it. You struggle with it. We all do.
Yes,
You
it's
know,
not.
it's just making you aware of the situation because you can't fix something you don't know about.
If you're not aware of it, like, in fact, one of the podcasts that I did said the biggest problem is not knowing you have a problem.
Absolutely.
Right? So it works in business too. And this is why Sarah made this book, this service, this assessment, because a lot of the times you don't know you have a problem until you make it aware. Now, you might have an inclination of it, you might have an idea, but sometimes you just need that nudge from
Oh,
me,
see, yeah,
Sarah,
seeing that
another
you got
mentor.
time. Yeah.
Take that story about Anna Banks. At the end of the story, how much people did she get in her program just by taking your advice?
I don't know exactly how many people. I think it was 4 or 5. But when you're at a networking event, the last thing you want to be doing is worrying about how you're going to deliver what it is that you're talking about. What
So
you want to know that all of that is taken care of, and all you have to do is talk to people about the product that you're trying to create or you're delivering or
delivering,
wanting to
yeah,
sell. And it's just she had that totally out of her mind then
yep.
because she was aware there was a problem, she did something about it, she had the roadmap, and she had the reassurance that she didn't need to do anything else with it. So she went to that conference and she was just absolutely crushing it, talking to people because that's what she does
That's
best.
what she does well. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So she had no worry. She had nothing going on in her head, constantly thinking over, oh, when I need to do this, or maybe this wouldn't work, or there was no worry. It was just, oh, all that's taken care of. All I need to do is focus on this now.
Is it safe to say, or this is in fact this is factual? Like sometimes, in fact, Alex Hormozy talks about when he does assessments, right? When you know what your bottleneck is, and that's a perfect example of a bottleneck. If you're in your business, you're not aware of it. This is what Sarah does. Pick up this book, guys. This will give you some insights. This will give you some insights, right? To figure out how you can get things done in a simple manner that anybody could. You probably just need that nudge, that inspiration that she has. And then if you want to work with her, take the assessment. That assessment is where the roadmap starts. We
And it's
cannot do nothing if that's not happening.
no, and it's the beginning of a conversation.
Yes,
That really is so powerful these days with all the AI and all that. What people really want, when it comes down to it, what they really want is just somebody to talk to.
absolutely. I even for me is one of my things is join the conversation. Give
Yeah,
me your input. Give me your 2 cents. Give
yeah,
me your opinion. Give me your
yeah,
feedback. Give me
yeah.
what you know.
Loads of people, business people are like, oh, you need to move away from the one-to-one, you need to distance yourself and get group training and all this kind of stuff going on. And I can see that from a business point of view. I
From a
never
human being.
want to lose that connection with
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
If you need to talk about business, then I'm just going to keep doing it forever because no, I've been in the situation where I couldn't talk to anybody. In fact, I nearly split up with my partner of over 20 years because of it. He's a landscape gardener and he
Okay.
hates computers. All of the stuff that I do is online. When I'm talking about stuff he doesn't understand, he
Right.
doesn't really
Right.
want to know about,
Right.
then it's an instant, oh yeah, whatever. But people It doesn't really matter, male or female. People like to help other people. So when I come to him or I'm talking to him about my problems in business and he can't help, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't
It's
know what
hard
to
for him.
say. He's a problem solver. He's a doer.
Yeah.
He's renovating the new house at the moment. I have not got a clue how to help him.
That's why you guys are partners. Right.
Exactly. So the problem wasn't the fact that he didn't want to listen. The problem was that I wasn't talking to the right person because I didn't recognize the kind of help that I was asking for.
You
And
didn't
I
know?
didn't recognize that
Yeah.
he wasn't the right person to give me it. All I was doing was complaining all the time to the person who was closest to me about the problems I was having in my business. And because I wasn't getting the right answers, I kept complaining to everybody for
Yeah.
months. I must have bored
Months.
people senseless. How they're still around me, I have no idea. But, but it was difficult because I wasn't getting the answers that I need. I wasn't getting the support that I needed. And so when people say to me, people who really care about me would ask me, "How are you?" about business problems, and
Yeah.
I would just, yeah, rant at them for ages about the problems I was having, and none of them could help me.
Because it wasn't in that
So
world.
and it wasn't that they didn't want to support me. It wasn't any of that. It's just they didn't know how to help me. So rather than put themselves in a situation where they felt uncomfortable about it, they just my partner and I, we had to agree not to talk about my business. Otherwise, we
Okay.
were just going to fall out.
Okay.
So I was just like, great, who do I talk to now?
That's why you have guys like us.
But that's why
Yes.
that I understand how it feels to be in business by yourself. I also
Yes.
understand how it feels to think that you have nobody that you can talk
Isolated.
to. So
Isolated.
isolated. So
Yeah.
now that is the one thing that I really care about is that people know that I am that person they can come and talk to if they need to.
Love it. Guys, you have no idea. You have no idea how hard this was for Sarah Pitts to reveal just now. And I got it out of her. But it goes to show, guys, there's a deeper meaning behind why she wrote this book, why she made the blueprint, why she made everything else. Because if you're feeling isolated on an island and you have nobody to talk to, even if it's just for a simple, you're doing great, you're on the
Oh,
right track, you're on the right path. You might feel overwhelmed. You might be in a season of business in your life where it's like, do I keep going? Do I learn some more? How am I going to apply? When is the money going to start rolling in? All those things in business make somebody make or break. Then if you have a partner that doesn't understand, they want to help, they don't know how to help, they don't know what to do. This is why you need that book. It's not that, the partner doesn't care and support. It's when they don't know how, that's what this book is, the roadmap to figuring out what you can do as a solo entrepreneur, business person, figuring it out. And if you need any other help, guys, leave a comment inside this page, inside this thing. You're going to find things up here. You're going to see connections to playlists, whether you're getting the shorts or highlights. You're going to have a playlist. We're still building the podcast right now for this. We're still building some service. Take the assessment. These are real world problems, real world results, real world blueprints that can help you get through this. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm so glad I got you to spill the beans on that because it helps for your viewers. It really is going to help. Sarah, close it out. Make that call to action that Jim taught us how to do.
yeah. The book is at stopdoingitallbook.com. And when you buy the book from that website, you will get a whole bunch of bonuses that make all of the process that I talk about so much easier. So you get a workbook so you can apply it immediately to your own life and your own business. You get the dreaded data dead zone book. So it talks about all data and all that stuff that we don't look at, even though we know we should, but make it make sense to you so that it's really easy for you to incorporate that into your life. There's a really cool spreadsheet actually that I'm dead excited about, and it helps to categorize all of your tasks into those 4 L's of successful delegation.
Right.
The love, the learn, the leverage, and the let go. So you make a list of all the tasks that you have and you tell it how much you like doing it. You tell it, how likely it is that somebody else could do it, and it will calculate it all based on, so whether you like it or not. And it will also tell you how many hours a week it will save you.
Ooh,
So
big. I
and
see
add it
that.
all
Yeah.
up. Yeah. And it's really helpful actually to see it categorized like that because you're like, oh, I didn't realize I could do that. It's just something that I always do. And it's helping you to see in the plain numbers how it's going to help you to move your business forward and how much of your time you could get back. But the thing that
Yes.
I'm really excited about right now is the Delegation Mastery Masterclass because
Ooh.
I'm going to talk to you and show you how to find the right people, to what happens when things go wrong, all that kind of stuff that you worry about when it comes to offloading tasks to other people. So just go to stopdoingitallbook.com.
Guys, you got that? The delegation mastery class is worth its money in gold. The book is the bonus. The knowledge from Sarah is
Yeah,
just the book is just a bonus. You want to get the delegation mastery class, take the assessment, find out where you can delegate because you save some time. Guys, it's Gordon Wat from Boundaries and Brotherhood.
I'm Sarah Pitts from Messaging. No, it's not personal training anymore. It's business development. There you go. That's habit, 20 years of habit for you.
There you go. All right, guys. Aloha. We'll see you later. Bye bye.
Bye.